Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 5.
I know several of the ladies have already come to the office grieving, because they're scared that she's not going to pull through.
A Lincoln woman was seriously hurt in a hit-and-run accident this morning. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Conway. Rod has the night off. The victim was blind, and police say she was crossing the street when the accident happened. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Wood is live at the scene with more in our top story. Abigail?
Megan, I talked to friends of the woman who was hit here near 64th and Havelock earlier this morning. They say she volunteered at a shelter just down the road from where she was hit, and they're praying for her speedy recovery.
One of the residents came in and said that the lady that came to volunteer was in the street, and she thought she had been hit by a car, and so I went out there and found her with a bunch of people around her still, but laying in the street. It was very sad, very tragic.
Deanna James and the other volunteers at Fresh Start Transition Home for Women near 64th and Havelock are still reeling after their friend was hit by a car outside the shelter this morning. The victim, a 58-year-old blind woman, volunteered at Fresh Start and lived in the Havelock neighborhood.
She's always up and down the street. I come up to work and she'll be walking across the street down in Havelock, and I know she's over at the senior center all the time, helping them, answering their phones.
Police say the woman, whose name they are not releasing at this time, was crossing Havelock at the intersection of 64th Wednesday morning when an eastbound Nissan driven by a woman in her 60s hit her.
The pedestrian was transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. She's a female, and it appears that she does have some visual impairment.
Police say the driver fled the scene, but within an hour they found her and her car just blocks away. Volunteers at Fresh Start say the victim is well loved at the transition home. They say she was legally blind and couldn't drive, but still stayed active.
Her stories of how she's overcome that and moved forward and made the adjustments she needed to make in her life to go out and really find ways to be productive and feel useful and helpful. It has been a wonderful inspiration to the women who live here.
Friends are sending prayers to the victim and her family. Police say the victim is still in life-threatening condition. They say the suspect is no longer in police custody and no citations have been made at this time, but they are still investigating.
Abigail
Reporting
Wood.
live, Abigail Wood.
Abigail Wood on the scene for us tonight in our top story. Thank you, Abigail.